Hello, my name is Dumiling Silepe and welcome to The Drawing Board, your favorite sports talk show whereby we get to sit down with sports players, former sports players, and as well as people who get to contribute in the industry of sport. Now, today I'm having a sit down and a conversation with Alex Bapela, who's a former football player. He played for Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Bafana in the late 90s and beginning of the 2000s. Now, they do not call him a club legend for nothing because after retiring as a football player, he was elected as the assistant coach of Mamelodi Sundowns in the PSL League. And then later on in 2014, he was elected as the coach for the Mamelodi Sundowns team in the multi-choice Diski Challenge League. He was also the technical director as well as the COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer of Sekhukhune United. He does so many things, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
What are you doing right now? There's so many accolades, like we can't keep up.
As a footballer, as a former footballer, you know, I always say football is in the DNA.
Yeah.
So it's even the drugs are better because drugs you can go for rehab and then you take
and you get detoxed.
With football, it's in there, it stays there, it's forever. Now I'm coaching a team in the ABC Municipal League in Gauteng called the Club. That's where I'm busy at now.
Okay.
And you know, to tell you a brief story, I became the coach there by default.
What do you mean by default?
The owner, Mr. Mesh Maila, called me there because of what I did at Sekhukhune.
Yeah.
To assemble the team in a very short space of time and became successful. He called me there to come and assemble that team as well. But then in the process, the coach found a job somewhere. And then he said, Mr. Bapela, because you're here already, you assemble the team, just continue coaching. And then I coached. You know, coaching has got a bug. That bug beat me. And then I continued coaching and I enjoyed it.
And you can't stop because you've been from assistant coach to coaching after, wow.
And I ended up being like, okay, let me just carry on. And I carried on.
Yeah.
That's where I am as of now.
But I just want to start here, right, for our viewers there at home. Where did it all start for you? Like, how did you end up playing for Mamelodi Sundowns as well as the nationals team?
And you know, honestly speaking, I'm a late bloomer. You know, I remember when I was in matric, they were forcing me to play football, but I never saw myself as being good at football.
You haven't started playing football
in matric when I was 20.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you, I was 20 years and I was not playing football at school.
That hardly ever happens. I mean, people at 14 already, you can see this and you can spot the talent and the drive and the passion.
I grew up being somebody who's got my self-esteem was very low.
Oh.
So even people who I was the best, better than them, I looked at them like, no, this one at home, they've got this and that. There's a guy at home, so they're better than me. Only to find that, no, man, I'm by far better than the people. I remember I played 2 games that season when they forced me to play football at school. And then already I was playing for Maholer Motherwells 1 year, 1989.
But did you love it? Did you enjoy playing soccer?
I enjoyed playing soccer because, but I was just playing on the street, not like anything formal. When it comes to formality, I said, no, I'm not good enough. But on the street, I knew that. On the street, you know, those days in the street, we were kicking each other because there were no referees. So it was more like every time I had the ball on my feet, didn't care whether they'll kick me or not. The ball was on my feet. That's why I realized, okay, but I'm good at this one. And I'm not good at marking. I'm not good at playing football. So that's why it all started.
So how did you end up playing for Mamelodi Sundowns and Bafana?
The following year, because at home, when you pass matric, you just go to Gauteng to go look for anything to do. When you look for a job, they say, what kind of a job? You say, any job. I came to Joburg just like anybody else in 1990 to come and look for any job. Luckily enough, December 1990, I went home playing tournaments. The owner of Rail Rovers, Ngobeni, saw me playing. And then when I was in Gauteng, I was playing for a police team because I was a recruit. I wanted to go and be a policeman in 1991. But then after Ngobeni saw me in 1990 playing the tournament in December, he said, in January I want you there. You are not going to Gauteng anymore. Just because he was giving me some cash nyana here and there, I decided to go there. That's where I failed to be a policeman. I played for Real Rovers.
That was a blessing in disguise.
That was a very blessing in disguise. And Rovers that time was playing in the now ABC Municipal League, the Vodacom League that time. And they just won the league. So they were going for the playoffs to be promoted to the then OK League, which is the NFD today. And then I played in the playoffs, and then the following season, we played in the NFD.
Wow.
That's how we all started.
Okay, and since you played right back then, and now you're still actively involved, like in the game of soccer, how do you think the game has changed from back then to now? For example, we've got technology right now, which is plays a major role in soccer, as well as how has it changed in terms of tactic formations and all of that? And the money. The money as well.
The money part, I don't really agree with the money part that much, because money loses value and loses value. In those days, we were not getting a lot of money, but the money we were getting that time was a lot that time.
Oh, okay, so I see what you mean. Okay.
And money is about how you manage it. It's not how much you're getting. That one, you must just get it clear. As long as you don't manage it well, it doesn't matter how much you're getting.
So are you saying
being a pauper?
The money was fair back then? It was okay?
It was still fair, because if you look at those days, what was happening at that time, the price of bread, the price of petrol, it was very low. So the money that time, I think it was fair, because I remember in 1994, if you were earning 5,000, it was way a lot of money, and the salaries were in those in those range that time, so it was way lot. And I remember I even managed to buy my first car, it was 13,000, 1994, and it was a very decent car. And then after joining Rovers, 2 years down the line, we played in the first division, and then we got promoted. 1994, I was playing in the Premier League. That's where Sundowns saw me play, and then they called me. Then I started playing for Sundowns in 1996.
Okay. Yeah. And then I'm just answering my questions of how has the game changed?
The game has changed a lot, because there are so many foreign coaches now. And foreign coaches, that side, they are more into technology than what we were coached. And technology, unfortunately, it comes with its own disadvantages, especially for us who are coming from the homelands, Komarai. Because in the overseas football, you have to study, you have to learn, you have to read. We didn't read. We didn't know what the tactics are. We were just playing soccer, enjoying. Now they'll tell you don't dribble past 3-4 people. What is wrong in that? Say, no, you're getting tired. But with us, I knew if you are a good player, you can teenager could dribble everybody and go and score.
You know what to do when the football comes.
You know what to do.
Yeah, it's not about theory.
No, so with them, we do theory, and then it comes to practical, we don't understand, because once you dribble 2 people at training, the coach stops. You listen tactics, because we don't want them. That's why it changed. And most of the players, we thought they are good players. They end up going backwards, saying, no, it means that I'm not a good player. Why the coach is shouting at me every day? Because he wants us to do what they are doing overseas. They don't care to learn what is happening here. I think if they learn what is happening here and put them together, we'll have so many good players.
But they're doing well that side. I'll just, be a devil's advocate here. Since they're doing well, don't you think they're trying maybe to implement what is working at international level?
I agree fully that they're doing well that side. But because those guys that side, they started being developed from 8, 9 years. At 20, I was never in a formal game. So at 20, you want to teach me something that was supposed to be taught 12 years back, I'll never catch up.
Yeah,
that is why it becomes a problem for them. I think instead of us learning about them, they should learn about us first, so that they can be.
Oh, I love that.
They can be successful here. Coaches like the late Jeff Bapela, Ted Dumitru, they came here, they learned our culture, they know we're coming from the shacks, from Alexander, from wherever, and then they can be able to deal with us, because now they know where we come from. Obviously, our personalities are very low. If you are a white man, you come in here, you come in to shout at me, obviously I'll go as far as possible, as far away from you as possible. So come to my level and teach me from there, and I'll go up with you.
Wow.
Don't be on your high horse and want to teach me here.
That is so profound.
It will always be problem.
Yeah. I also want to ask, you were elected as the assistant coach for Mamelodi Sundowns, right? And the PSL League. So how was the transition in being a football player and just being an assistant coach? Because it's in the same club, like they call you a club legend at Mamelodi Sundowns. How was that transition? What challenges did you come across and how did you overcome them?
You know, when the CAF president came into Sundowns, he found me there. I was about to retire. I could see that now I don't have future in football anymore. That was 2003. And then I left Sundowns. I went to play for Dynamos in Guyana. And then when I was there, he realized that, but for this team to be successful, I need the legends. And then he called me at Sundowns 2008, 2009. And then I came there, I became a scout first. That's where I found Tembazwan. Tembazwan was playing for a team called Mabi in the Phillies games, and he was playing for Timbisa High. That's where I found him. Then from there, I became the analyst at Sundowns. Like the teams before Sundowns play, I would go there, watch them, be a spy, bring notes, and give them to Christo Stoichkov.
So you were already working behind?
I was working behind.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Stoichkov left, Johan Neskens came. They said, because it's a continuity, because you were analyzing games. So come closer now. Johan Neskens came, and then I was his assistant, even though we were three. It was Jan Bert, Jesse Quinn Lowoli, and Alex Bapela. He was the head coach, Johan Neskens. That's where I started being assistant.
Okay.
Fast forward, he left, Pizzo came. When Pizzo came, he was not comfortable working with Jesse Quinn Lohodi and Jan Darks. He said, I want to work with this one, Alex Bapela. And I was the assistant coach to Pizzo. I remember there was a season where Sundowns, I think it was 2012, 2013, Sundowns was struggling. It was about to go to relegation. That's where Pizzo came in. And Sundowns survived relegation. And the following year, we won the league. You know, Pizzo, I know so many people are not, he's not a popular guy. But that guy, when he goes onto the pitch, he's a lion. He doesn't care who you are, you should know he is the boss. That's how I became the assistant coach at Sundowns.
Sure. I think, with Pete, I think you're absolutely right. I think he has proven numerous times with all the cups he has under his leadership. So how was it though? Just, you're once a football player, you're now a coach, like an assistant coach. Any challenges that you came across? The
challenge is that the players still see you as a player. They don't recognize you as a coach. See, but this one, once I saw him playing, and then all of a sudden he's a coach. That's the downside of it. But then on the flip side of the coin is that it's easy for me because I can relate to the players. Wherever the players are, I was there at some point. I know what they're feeling. If I see Mbekile down, I know what he's thinking, what is happening. I go to him like a brother now, not like a coach. And then I talk to him, he tells me, he opens up to me because I know what is happening in the players' minds. And then that's where we got things right. It was easy for me in that reason because even when we demonstrate, I can still kick the ball, I can run, I'm still better than some of them. So they start looking at me like, but this guy knows what he's doing. It's not like somebody who never coached at all. You never played football at all, just started being a coach. So they started respecting me from there.
Wow. So in that same breath, right? So do you think people make better coaches if they want like football players than people who have never played football at all?
If you are a former player, normally you have to be a better coach because you have been there. It's not like you see the fire and then you say that fire is burning. You know it's burning because you've been burned before. So it becomes easy. The one who never played only relies on the books. He's got the books but doesn't have experience, the experience, the practical part of it. So as a football player, you played your part as a coach, as a player. Now you are a coach. It's easy. You make the two together and then you go forward. Is that disadvantage is that most ex-soccer players are not given a chance. for some reasons, I don't know.
Eish.
Yeah. Once you are being a soccer player, the soccer bosses look at you like you are a threat to them. I don't know, because people know you, you have been there, you are more famous, and then that's the problem.
You get the game, like you've been there, you made mistakes.
Yeah, you made mistakes, and you made your name, and you had money, you don't have money anymore, and then they look at you like, look at him. That kind of situation.
So you're a coach currently, right? And you've had like past experiences in terms of being a coach. What is your coaching philosophy as far as leadership is concerned and the technicalities of the game?
Firstly, you have to coach human beings before you coach players.
Wow.
A player, before he's a player, he's a human being. He's somebody's son, somebody's sister, somebody's brother, somebody's cousin. So treat that person as a human being first. Take him from being a human being and put him on the field. Now coach him. He's a player. He's talented as a footballer. And then that person will understand you better. You'll understand him better. He'll understand you better because you know how he is. Don't treat him like a player, because there's nobody who's a soccer player, who was born a soccer player. He's somebody's son. Take him there, coach him, and then that's where you'll get the best of him. And the players must be as free as possible on the pitch. Because once you scare them, they'll never do exactly what you want. They have to know that they are free. You're just guiding them, and you are not them. And the other thing, most soccer ex-professional think players should be like them. You must give them their space. Your time has been there, it has gone. Now is this time, so just guide them. Don't tell them, I was better than you. We in our time we're doing this. It has passed.
Yes.
Now is their time. Teach them how it goes.
Wow. Do not go anywhere more after the break about the status of soccer currently in South Africa. Welcome back. I'm still sitting with Alex Bapela, who is the current coach for Diklo football team. And you didn't miss much because earlier on we spoke briefly about his experience about being a coach. But currently we dive deeper into the status of soccer currently in South Africa. Thank you for still being around.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
So a lot of people, right, they say that they blame the fact that the decision makers at the top, like in terms of the soccer industry, right, people with influence are politicians, the people who get to make decisions. Most of them are politicians. Therefore, they do not have the vision to develop soccer, and the vision for them is mostly like money and power. So in that same breath, they get to blame all of that leadership at the top in terms of the quality of football we currently have, because we're not doing well internationally. What are your thoughts on that? On the fact that it's politicians who are at the top and get to make decisions, and they don't do it for the benefit of the game, but it's about power and money.
You know, everything that you do and do it perfect, you have to start from the bottom up. But with politicians, they are up already. They don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
And you think they care. They don't care. All they care about is what is at stake for them at the top. And it honestly speaking, it's not good for football, because those guys were taken from somewhere. Somebody was a teacher, or others was working in
or they have money, they've got influence.
Or they just have money, they've got influence, and then they start influencing them. But when you look at football itself, they are killing it because they just come with that money, and they don't have the best interest of football at heart. So these are the people who are not good for football, but because they've got money, with money and power, you can infiltrate everything. So that's why they are in here. But honestly, I don't think they are good for football. They have to take football people into football.
And make them decision makers in terms of as far
make
as
them decision makers,
soccer is concerned.
And pay them just like anybody else who's working and making those decisions. You don't even have to influence the decisions. But if you are putting me there and I don't make the right decision, put me aside and take somebody else who's a football person and put him there still.
So you would say that's one of the reasons for the quality of our performance in terms of soccer? It
will always struggle because we don't look at football the same way. Everybody else from grassroots level, they see football this way. When the football is up on top there, the person who's leading everything is seeing football differently. So there's no way that is going to benefit footballers.
Yeah. SAFA president was recently elected. What are your thoughts on the outcome? Do you think that we needed fresh leadership or continuity is fine?
Everybody else is being judged according to the results that you bring. Are we also judging him on the results? And if you are judging him on the results, what else did he do? And I know Danny is a very good person, but I think there is a time where you have to let go, and then you should know that it's time to let go. But it looks like we're hanging on to this power, even though we see that whatever we are hanging on to is not there anymore. I think we need a fresh start there at the top. We need somebody who comes with fresh ideas, somebody who will take our football somewhere, because honestly speaking, for now, everybody can see, even the guy on the street knows that South African football is not going anywhere. We are not producing players to overseas. We are not winning anything as a country. We are not even thinking of winning the World Cup. So if we can't think of that, and then as a leader, you have to be ashamed of yourself, saying, but let somebody do this job.
Yeah. South African Bafana coach, Hugo Broos, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He recently said something very controversial, right? He mentioned that it was also following the loss of Bafana to Morocco for the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifying match. He said that South Africa does not have high quality soccer players, basically. What are your thoughts on it, especially by the fact that it was said by a coach? Also, what do you make of the statement that he made? Do you agree with him or not?
No, I think he has been very much unfair. Firstly, when he came to South Africa, what did he want to benefit? What did he want to gain? What did he want to produce? And if he realized that South Africa, where I'm going, if he did his homework, he should have seen that long time that, South Africa doesn't have quality players, doesn't have brave players, so there's no need for me to go there. I'd rather not go.
There's no need for me to go there. Yeah,
you can't come here and then you come and tell us that you don't have, the players are not brave. But you came here, and I don't think he came here wanting to lose. And if you're going somewhere you want to win, you have to look at the material. And South Africa is a big country. I don't know, maybe if it's South Africa means only Gauteng or Cape Town, and it's too big. And you want to tell me that every player in South Africa is not brave? I think that is more of an insult. You bring somebody from outside, he comes here, you bringing him here, it's an insult to all the South African players and coaches first. And then for him to have the neck to say South Africa doesn't have quality, what is he talking about? Because we had players like Lucas Radebe, the late Phil Masing, they played for the teams in Europe, and Lucas was even the captain. And you come and say we don't have. If he's failing, you should just say I'm failing, I can't, and then pack your bags and go. Somebody else will do the job. Don't come here and insult the whole country as an individual. Yeah. I don't know even if they know him in Belgium or he can coach in Belgium. And I think South Africa is bigger than Belgium, so he comes here, insult the whole country. It was an insult to me personally. I didn't like it.
But Bafana has changed coaches so many times, like we can't even keep up, right? At what point, like just in terms of soccer in general, like in South Africa, let me not even go to Bafana. Just in general, soccer in South Africa, when the team loses, it's always the coach's fault. At what point do we draw the line and say this is the coach's fault, it's the coach's incompetence, or the player's incompetence? Where's the thin line between them?
I think in South Africa, everybody's a coach. And the coach is the simplest person. Even a 5-year-old, if the team loses, will say, the coach must go. That's the first thing.
That's the first thing. Yeah.
The coach must go. But the coach is just coaching. It's not even running the team. The team is run somewhere. Whether the players ate the previous night, whether the players traveled safely, whether the players slept nicely where they are, nobody cares about it. All they want is the result on the pitch. And the result on the pitch is just the dress rehearsal. You win the game during the week. What you do during the week, that's where you win the game on Sunday. Not winning the game on Sunday. So if that was the case, then you take players, you don't even have to train, you just take them, put them there. But then I think the problem with administration, the communication between the soccer bosses, the administrators, and the coaches should improve. Because now the coach, when the team loses, everybody stands backwards. No, it's the coach.
It's the coach.
If the team wins, everybody come and want the glory. So if we can't change that mentality, we always have a problem. I think that should change. The coach is not the only person who does that. You know, the teams that are well run. Let me give you an example with John Committees. John Committees is the owner of Cape Town City. He was at Ajax. All these teams they are winning, they've been consistent because they're well run. SuperSport changed coaches, but the team was always consistent. So the person who's leading, who's on top, is the one who knows what is happening. So it becomes very easy. But this thing of just changing coaches, it doesn't work. Coach is not the only one who's doing the job there.
Sure. So, in terms of, we know, like with the game of soccer, right? It's very important to harness the talent at a very, very young age, like from 12 years old, like early teens, late teens there, right? Is South Africa putting enough resources in the development of soccer?
You know, in South Africa, we like to microwave things. We want to make things quicker.
Yeah, 2-minute success.
2 minutes. We don't look at a bigger vision. We just want to play now and win. Just take Itu and Evan, bring them here. They must win. You don't develop from down from the top up, from the bottom up. And honestly speaking, it's the influence of the foreign coaches against in the top league, because PSL football is not exciting. I was lucky enough to go watch the Engine Cup last weekend. Sundowns was there, SuperSport was there, Chiefs was there. The kind of football that is played there, it's exciting. You can pay to go watch them. And you get surprised, where do these boys go after this? You don't find them. Even if you find one in the senior team, he's not playing the kind of football that he was playing there. It's because we are losing it along the way. The players were coming from development into the senior team. There is a bridge there that need to be.
There's a gap there.
There is a gap there. In that gap, maybe that's where they take the excitement of the players. And then once they jump that bridge in there, they're not exciting players anymore. You find that at Kaizer Chiefs is a big team. We expect Kaizer Chiefs. We have known Kaizer Chiefs. Most of us, we grew up supporting them because they were playing a good brand of football, exciting players. Quality. Yeah. But if you look at Chiefs now, even if they're playing on TV, you can look the other side, because who is exciting? Kick and Dodge, yes. Kamapila, yes. Beside that, who else? No one. It's not exciting. So who want to watch a bowling game kind of football? Nobody wants.
So what is the solution? Like what do we do? Like with your experience?
We have to believe in ourselves. But you have to empower people to coach there, because all those youngsters, they are not coached by foreign coaches. They are coached by local coaches. And they coach them there. They are exciting. And then they go there, you give them to somebody who will say, this one can't trap the ball like this. Trapping the ball is trapping the ball. If I want to back heel is. But then with them, you say, control like this. So you take me to school when I'm already 23 years old and I was in development. I was doing whatever I wanted to do. That's where they go. There are some tournaments everywhere now. If you go to those tournaments, the grounds are full, because these guys are playing a kind of football. They are exciting. But you go there, you can't even. Every time it's thread pass. Where is that? There's no combination of anything. You just get the ball. As long as the ball scored, how it scored, nobody cares. That's the problem. We are killing our football at the top level.
Sure. Hi, this is what you get, guys, when you get to have a conversation with a soccer legend. I'll see you guys after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, we're having a conversation with soccer legend Alex Bapela. Thank you so much for still being here. So you were moved from being assistant coach at Mamelodi Sundowns to coaching the Mamelodi Sundowns team in the multi-choice Disky Challenge, right? Which someone would deem as a demotion, right? So what did you learn from that situation that took place? What lessons did you take away?
I think what Sundowns did was the best thing ever, because they took me from the senior position where I was the assistant in the senior team to bring me back to the youngsters. I think that's where Sundowns started getting it right, because I had all the knowledge of what's happening in the senior team, and they brought me back to teach the youngsters.
Yes.
I mean, that time you're talking about the Upesi time, Jagamadisha, may his soul rest in peace. The players who were there, Abum Kulise now, they were there. And then I taught them what is happening in the senior team, because I had all the information about the senior team. And then in that team, and it was so unfortunate that we didn't have a team for the multi-choice disc challenge then, because it was an under-23 league. And our under-23 was playing ABC Municipal League side, and they were coached by Dan Malisel. So they said, Vance, you know what, we don't have players for this. Take the under-19s, because from the under-19 they graduate from the development.
Yeah.
And then they said, play them in the disc. Luckily enough, we were allowed 3 senior team players to come down to go play with them. And then that season we did exceptionally well. And that's where I've learned that, you know, it's easy to coach the youngsters because they listen to everything that you say or doing. That's where it's very crucial to put somebody there in the development who knows what he's doing, because those boys grabs everything that you tell them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can tell them crap, they still grab it. So for me to be there was a blessing to them, because now they coached by me, and then from there they went into the senior team. To me, I didn't look at it like a demotion. It was more like I'm still working at Sundowns, and I'm developing Sundowns players.
Yes.
That's where I got it.
Okay. So I want to ask as well, right? You're currently the coach for Ditlo. What is your hope for the boys, seeing the current state of Bafana Bafana where we are now? What do you hope for the boys?
You know, me coaching Ditlo, I think at first when I went there, those boys were overwhelmed by me, and they didn't perform well in the first season, and I understand why, because they looked at me like I'm not human enough, because I played in the top level and I coached there. So for me to go there, they were still shivering. But towards the end of the season, I remember playing Magezi at some point, last 2 or 3 games. Magezi didn't see the ball. And even the Magezi coaches and staff, they gave me credit for saying that, you know what, we won the playoffs because of what you did to our team. I gave them the right practice for them to be able to go win there, because my team was organized on the day. We lost 2-1, yes, but the team was organized, and I was playing with under 21, under 23. 9 players were under 23, only 2 were over. Sure. So I gave Magezi a fright on the day, and the team was playing well. This season, I think we're going to be flying high.
Wow. Just in closing, right? Where do you see the future of soccer in South Africa in 5 years to 10 years' time?
Sure. You know, it's very bleak, eh? Yes. And I'm being blunt and honest. It's bleak because when you look at it, what changed? The SAFA president is still the same person. I don't know what is he going to do right this time, or what changes he's going to make. We still have the coach that we failed to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. I don't know if we'll qualify the World Cup at some time. And it's, when I look at it, I just want to cry, because I can see that our football is not going anywhere. And if you look at the players individually, which player can we say is our top player now we can take overseas? If you just close your eyes and think of one goalkeeper, okay, let's say 2 because we've got Ronwen Williams, second goalkeeper. How many goalkeepers do we have that we can really say they can compete at the highest level? You struggle to count with one hand. So instead of having 10, I think if it's a coach, you've got this nice stress of having so many players around you, good quality players. But in South Africa, you struggle, you got stress, headache because you don't have players.
Eish.
And our top players, Themba Zwane, Andy Lejal, we think they are top players. Everybody wants to see them. And the coach will come and say, no, I can't choose them. They're not best players. He chooses other players. And then he come and blame them for not being brave, not being good players. So I just don't know. As a football person myself, I don't know where you're going. I don't know if somebody knows, because I'm looking at it like people should ask me and I should give them answers. But if they ask me now, I tell them, you know what, I don't know where it goes, and I don't see the future of the game because there's no progress. Nothing. We played against France, and France was doing everything they wanted to do. And if we really want to compete at the highest level, we play against France and we become what we were on the day. We're still very far. We're failing to qualify for African Cup of Nations. 24 teams, we can't be in the top 24. World Cup, we can't. So our future is very doomed. Unless something drastic happens, I don't know what. I just hope Danny has got something at the back pocket that he'll say, you know what, I want that magic wand that Danny has to give to us, say, this is what is going to happen. And I think for us to happen, it has to be on the paper. Give us the plan. What is the plan? The plan is to go forward. This is the plan. But if you don't have that plan, we say we'll see it on the pitch. On the pitch, the coach says one thing, the SAFA president says one thing. We always have a problem. Maybe as a country, we have to choose players to play for a national team, that the coach, because I don't think the coach knows our players.
Choose ourselves.
I doubt. I think maybe we should do like Carling Cup. We choose players, coach. This are our players. Coach them. Because honestly speaking, I remember I was talking to Jess Quinlow the other day. He had about 7 players who were playing for Sanders from his development. I said, but Jess, how do you do this? He said, you know, scouting is very easy. You go to each and every language, every village or township. You go there, you ask somebody in the street, who is the best player here? They know the best players. You take that player. There's no way they can't lie. Don't wait for somebody to come and say, hey, my son is a very good player. He's playing. Everybody's son is the best. I've never heard a mother saying my son is ugly or my daughter is ugly. Everybody's like that. So if you go ask somebody on the street, you say, the boy who was staying on that street is good. That boy is good. Go check that guy. So as a country, I think we have to make our own national team, give it to the coach, let the coach work. Maybe do that. Because something for sure, I've never seen him invent. I've never seen Hugo Broos invent. Maybe he's been there. I've never seen him in Apinti. I've never seen him in Matsuru. I've never seen him in Ellis. And that's where we can get players. For him to get players, he must go to FNB, to go to the final of the whatever cup. Not everybody is lucky enough to be there. You have to go there by the Dusty Street. Jomo, I think, is still the best, is still having the record of being the best talent scout. And he used to go on the street there, on the gravel, watch players. They are best players there. Others who don't even have anything, they don't have transport to go to FNB, to go watch the game. So that's the problem that we're having with our football.
I think it's important that you go out to look for them, because some of them don't have access to the platforms that can be provided, especially in Gauteng. Everything is happening here.
Everything's happening here. And if you look at players who are playing in the Gauteng teams, most of them are from outside. So if you get them long before they come to Gauteng. And who said the player who plays for the national team has to be playing for a team in Gauteng? I mean, you can get a player who never came to Gauteng and is a good player. That player can play for the national team. But it looks like we are channeled. For the good player, he has to play for Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates. We have to cast our net wider to go look for players.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alex Bapela, for joining us and making us time, and for the contribution that you've done in the soccer industry and that you continue to do. And all the best with the diploma.
You know, when I talk football, I can talk the whole day.
Yeah.
It's already time.
Right?
I can talk football every day.
The time went by so fast, guys.
It just flew.
I know,
Hey.
it did.
No, you have to come again.
I have to come back now?
No, you have to come
I
back.
am coming back.
No, come back so
I'm
that we
coming
can do the second one.
Yeah, part
Second
two.
thing, part 2 of this thing.
I'm coming back, guys.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. You are doing a good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Right.
You know, if there's anything that I've learned today is that it's important that we get to harness the talent from a very, very young age and stop looking for saving from people outside. Let's invest in our own talent, believe in it, and do it ourselves. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Idimileng Selepe. Goodbye.